Today's guest is Ken Stiefler, and he's president of Exits, LLC in Denver, Colorado. Thank you to Zarlingo Robb, CPAs and Business Advisors in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, for providing a location for us to film this episode. At Zarlingo Robb, they think like business owners. For more information about Zarlingo Robb, please click the link in our website show notes. Hi, I'm Norrin A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. I interview America's top advisors to help business owners enjoy more personal freedom, grow their companies faster, and transfer ownership seamlessly when the time comes. As I said, today's guest is Ken Stiefler. He's president of Exits, LLC in Denver, Colorado. Ken's been an exit planner for 20 years and received his certified exit planner designation in 2009. You can go to the show notes on our website for more information about Ken Stiefler and Exits, LLC. So welcome to the show, Ken. Could you take a second and just introduce yourself to our audience and then talk to them about your career path up to now? Because I know you've been doing this probably as long as anyone else I know in exit planning.
Well, again, my name is Ken Stiefler. I am president of a company located here in Denver, Colorado called Exits, and we started that about 11 years ago. But my career path is somewhat interesting in that I started back probably 28, 29 years ago. I was in an insurance agency, and John Brown came to talk to our agency. And when he left, I remember, and I'll always remember this, going home and telling my wife that I think I want to do exit planning because it looks like John Brown doesn't work evenings and weekends. So I have really ambitious goals in life. But I only had one business client, and it was two owners who had a receptionist, and all their records were in a shoebox on the floor. And took them to a lunch with John Brown, and the first question that John asked was, "Tell me about your key employees." They laughed and they pointed at each other like this, but that started our longest running exit planning case. I think it went around 18 years.
Oh,
this company, that year I think we did buy-sell agreements. A couple years later, maybe we did some key employee benefits. A few years after that, we did some estate planning. And it concluded after about 18 years when this company sold to an international company.
Wow.
And at the time of the sale, this company had, I think it was like 6 or 7 offices around the country and in Canada. So that was a lot of fun. But I've been doing this a long time, and whenever I talk to John Brown, neither one of us can remember quite how long we've been doing it, but it's been quite a while.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a really good story. So you and I just met at the Business Enterprise Institute convention in August, and so I know you a little bit. I've heard a lot about you from John, and it's all been good. But I don't know you as well as people that lifelong friends and business clients. How would the people that know you best? How do you think they describe you?
Well, my wife knows me best, and she says my secret to my success is that I'm persistent. A lot of my other clients laugh because I am precise, to the minute. I schedule calls because I work all over the country, and I schedule calls, and my clients just laugh. They said they could set the atomic clock by me. So,
that's a good trait to have.
Yeah. But I don't think that I'm flamboyant. I'm a listener. I really enjoy being with people, getting into their heads, getting into their hearts. So, what we do is not rocket science, but it's something that clients they need us, and once they realize that something's going to happen, then something's going to happen that might be very good for them, for their families. They enjoy the process, and they enjoy working with an exit planner.
Okay, good information. Your company's obviously Exits, which asking you what Exits does might be kind of a silly question, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask it anyway.
Well, there are actually 2 stories around Exits that I enjoy telling. One is that right before I started Exits, I hired a marketing company, and they came in and spent, I think it was like 2 or 3 days. I had family members, I had friends, I had relatives, I had clients, and they came in and spent 2 days talking about what they would want for Ken. And I mean, it was very intense. I'd never been through anything like that, and haven't since. And after when the marketing company left after the couple of days, they came back about 2 months later, and I had no idea that I was not looking for a separate company. I was just looking for branding and some marketing materials. But in the presentation, all of a sudden, I saw this beautiful logo, and I said, I think I'm going to have a company. So we started Exits, and we actually went on. It was very surprising, but we hired an attorney to see if we could basically get a copyright on the word exits. He says, I doubt it. I mean, exits. But he filed it, and we actually were able to get a copyright on it.
Fantastic.
So we own the word exits, not for exit signs or for, but for consulting purposes.
Well, that alone says you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. But my other funny story, though, is that I am being kind of dragged into the modern world in some respects, like LinkedIn. And I remember I went to a LinkedIn training class about a year ago, and a lady sat next to me, and she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm an exit planner. And she said, wow, that's really great. I just love those signs that tell me how to get out of the movie theaters.
Oh, man, that's funny. So when you started your company, I'm sure you wore a lot more hats than you wear now, and I'm sure there are things that you do now that you prefer over other things. What do you like the very best about what you do at Exits?
Well, what I like the best is the fact that I no longer wear other hats. Just about everybody that does exit planning, I can confidently say that 100% of the people who have been doing exit planning for any period of time were not just exit planners. They came up through whatever discipline they had, whether it was insurance or a financial planner, an attorney, a CPA. In my instance, it was insurance. So I wore that insurance hat, I wore my exit planner hat, but what I like the best is when I hung up my insurance hat, even though it was a great career, I did it for 30 years, but just being an exit planner is what I like best, and I think that it from the standpoint of the clients that I work with, they know that I'm focused.
Yeah, it gives you a lot finer focus, doesn't
it? Exactly. So that I'm not sure. There are a lot of other aspects that I like. I like that I'm working with 10 to 12 people a year instead of 200 to 300 people a year.
Yeah, right.
I like being able to get in depth into their heads and their hearts. I think I already mentioned that, so it's my focus that I like, that I enjoy the most.
Good. So there's a lot of people in the exit planning business right now and growing all the time. You've been doing it probably longer than almost all of them, so you've had a chance to kind of fine-tune what you're doing. What do you think differentiates you from everyone else that's doing exit planning?
Well, I'm actually the exit planner to a number of exit planners.
Okay.
And they helped define what it is that I do. It's not a perfect analogy, but I think it's about as close as I can get. That I am, in construction terminology, like the general contractor.
Okay. I
can't do anything without my subs. So what I do is project management. I used to use the term quarterback, but when I was talking with one of the female owners, she said, I'm not a football fan. So I switched from that to construction analogy of being a general contractor.
Okay.
So I herd the cats. Those are the subs. They don't like to be herded a lot of times, but keeping everybody going on the same path, rowing together to accomplish a business owner's objectives. That's what we do. So project management.
Fantastic. That's a good analogy. Great one. I'm going to wrap this up, and I have one last question though. A lot of our audience, business owners, most of them are over 55, and they're thinking about exit planning. A lot of people don't know where to start, and is there one shortcut that you could recommend to a business owner that could help them get started on the process sooner than, trying to figure it all out on their own?
Well, I think that if a business owner, the day they opened their business, that they said, I really need to have an exit strategy in this thing, they'd be a lot better off. But I think, probably the best way to shortcut things is to have that mentality that you're going to build a business that can run without you. If you start with that philosophy, now, it sounds like, everybody's going to think that I'm not engaged, and that really isn't the case. It's just a way of defining success in business, and that's if you've got a business that can run without you, you've got a successful business, and you've got a business that will probably not have a whole lot of difficulty in selling for top dollar.
Okay, good. At the end of this video, you can subscribe to our free newsletter, download free guides, and have an opportunity to win free books from Amazon.